save your money, and where to save your money, or how to make money. Having money is not necessary for building wealth. Wealth is a long-lasting plan, going on for generations. Let Wanda tell you how. Tune in to Wanda's Wealth Moments every Wednesday at 9:30 and learn how to.
Good morning, my friends. Welcome to another segment of Wanda's Wealth Moments, where every week you get to listen, learn, and earn some facts, posts, and tidbits about wealth. Yes, you do. And you also get some tidbits about the weather. Now, of course, on my side of the world, as Claremont would say, okay? We are currently at 3 degrees, but we're looking at getting up to about 10. So I'm in the east end, okay? I'm like, going Pickering, Ajax, Osh. I'm way east. Okay, he's way west. So I don't know what's going on that end. And PT, well, she's just not even here in this country. Oh my goodness, I can only speak to what's going on my side of the world, okay? But I'm pretty sure it's similar across the ways, except for I don't know what's going on Fati's side. So, all right, Fati's gonna have to share weather differently. All right. Oh my goodness. So yes, that's what we're looking at today. So enjoy it. And it's a little bit, let me see, look at my window. Yeah, it's a little rainy too. It's a little rainy, but it's okay. We need that rain to kind of wash away the filth, the negativity, so we can feel great for another day, right? Right. Yes, right. Okay. So speaking about negativity, let's talk about taxes. Claremont's favorite son. And he's like, oh no, you're going there. You're going there. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And I hope for most of you that you filed your taxes in time, despite the fact that there is a strike going on with the federal government. Isn't this beautiful? They're striking right now, honestly, at a time when people need to file their taxes and get her done. But they still want to turn around and say, make sure you file on time, despite the fact that the strike's going on, because you can still get hit with penalties. Either which way, they're going to win, no matter what, right? Anyways, that's for another time. We won't go there. But want to make sure that you filed your taxes on time, all right? Because at the end of the day, if you end up owing, you're going to end up paying late fees as well, late fines or penalties. And that's not fun. Sometimes it's a little, sometimes it's a lot. The whole thing is, I don't want to pay any. How about we go there? No late fees at all. All right. So the question came up to me the other day about taxes. And, when it comes on to retirement, understanding, are you taxed in retirement with the vehicles that you use because you're retired? You don't have essentially an income coming in unless you're receiving the government benefits or you're starting to utilize any pension plans that you have. So that's technically it's like you've used your income during the working years to save and build up. You've been paying taxes all those years and still putting away. So why should you get taxed now in retirement? Because you already got taxed once, you get taxed again? Yes, folks, you're getting taxed again. Right? That doesn't matter what stage of life you're in. You're always going to see that tax. What's that saying? What are the 2 guarantees in life? Death and taxes. Death and can you imagine? Okay, death and taxes. All right. And I always throw in a third one. There's one more guarantee in life, and that's change. Change is always happening, whether you like it or not. It's always going to happen. All right. I mean, look what's going on right now. People are preparing in England for the coronation. There's a change. Yeah, we're not going to go down that road, but that's a change. We're not going to go down that road. Okay. All right. So that's why I say that's a guarantee. Change is always happening. All right. So you have to embrace it and be ready for it. So let's circle back to taxes. So one of the questions that somebody asked is about withholding taxes. What is withholding tax and how does it apply to them? And it's funny enough, I read an article, which I'm actually going to touch points on today about that, about understanding withholding tax. All right. And for those that are looking for that article, it's from, I subscribe to it called Retire Happy. And it's a place, I should say, it's a gentleman that writes different articles on things about finance. So I love reading about all the different things he puts out there because I mean, at the end of the day, it's information that we could use. It's information that you yourself should be taking the time to learn up and understand how to manage your own finances. But it's just basic stuff. It's nothing too complicated or anything like that. So he's talking about that. His article is "What is Withholding Tax? Understanding Withholding Tax in Retirement." So I figured, well, he just did the work for me, so I'm going to take those points and go through it with you today. All right. So here in Canada, okay, Fitch, I don't know what happens over there, but I just know here in Canada. All right. When it comes on to taxes, now the one thing I know we can obviously relate to, doesn't matter where you are in the world, when you make an income, you pay tax. Boom. She's like, all right, boom. All right. So you make an income, you're going to pay tax. So you've got your income tax that you have to pay. All right. Now, withholding tax, that's something a little differently over here. Okay, so let me just break it down to you like this. Now, if you have vehicles, let's say RRSPs or tax-free savings accounts, well, sorry, not the TFSA, sorry, that's a tax-free. So, scratch what I said there. But your RRSP, that flips into an RRF, a RIF. Okay, so that's a registered retirement income fund. Okay, because you're in retirement stage, so you're going to have to start drawing down. Okay, so there are some basic rules of tax withholding. So it says when you're withdrawing money from a registered plan like an RSP or a RIF, withholding tax is deducted at the same rates as it would from an employee's paycheck. Okay, so you have different ranges, which determine like different monetary ranges, which determines the amount of tax that will apply. So if you take, let's say, less than $5,001, okay, then there's a 10% withholding tax. All right. If you take between $5,001 to $15,000, there's a 20% withholding tax. And well, obviously, you know what happens over that. All right. Anything more than 15,000, whoop, you get 30% withholding tax. So the question then remains, what happens then when you're drawing your money out? How do you strategize? Because we want to be in a position where we can minimize the amount of taxes that we have to pay or that has to be taken at time at source. Okay. So this is a great example here. Man, I was so ready for this. And then this article came out. So thank you. Retire happy. Anyhow. So I'm just going to quickly read this over to you. So he uses as an example, an illustration. So if you got, you tell me if I'm correct in saying this, 2 twin brothers, does that make sense? Doesn't twin mean 2? So what's 2 twin brothers? Is that 4? Anyways, we won't go. Exactly. So he says in this article, you've got 2 twin brothers. Okay, Larry and Ken. So say Larry and Ken both need $15,001 from their RRSPs in retirement to help pay for their trip to Europe. Okay. So Larry now, he takes $15,001 out all at once. So if you remember what I said with that range, okay, he would fall into that 20% range, right? So, oh no, sorry, that 30% range because he's $15,001 over. So when he does that, that means he gets slapped with that 30% withholding tax and he will receive $10,500. Okay. $4,500 would go straight to the government. Yay. Okay. Now, Ken, he takes a look at that. He's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. That's a lot coming off one time. So what he decides to do is he's going to make 3 separate withdrawals from $5,000. Okay, each one. So if it's $5,000 each, we know it's 10% coming off each time. All right. So by doing that, overall, he's going to receive $13,500 in hand. Much better strategy, right? Makes sense. Because it's like, paid less taxes, you got more money back in hand. You probably had to wait, a couple of weeks because they had to do 3 separate transactions, but he got it. So off they go away on their trip. Now, the following year, they got to file their taxes. So what happens? Let's think about this. When they file, Larry, remember, he took out the $15,000 one shot. So he ended up having to hand over $4,500 to the government. But by doing that, when he files, okay, assuming that Larry and Ken will be taxed at a 35% tax rate, keep this in mind, all right, here's what's going to happen. Larry took $15,001, so he got hit with the withholding tax at 30% tax range. But if his marginal tax bracket today is 35%, that means he still owes 5% more, right? All right. So in the end, even though he paid $4,500, he still had to pay that $750 on top. So that now he's taking care of his taxes. Well, what about his brother Ken? So Ken gets the same tax slip saying that he must now add $15,000 to his income, and now he's going to have to pay $5,250 in tax. Because remember, Ken broke it up into 3 small payments, $555. All right, he paid a little bit in taxes, which he paid at the time is $1,500 in taxes, but now he still turns around and has to owe $3,750. So do you realize in the end, they both actually paid $5,250. It's just how much they had to pay at the time they withdrew the money and how much they had to pay after during tax time. So you see, there's no wrong or right. It's just determining, okay, which route are you going to go? Do you want to take all your 15 now and get slapped with a heavy bill so you get less on your trip? Or do you want to divvy it up so you have more on your trip and then pay later? Pay the price now or pay it later? I don't know. Which would you pick, Faiti? She's like, pay now. I'll pay now, right? Because it's painful when you got to pay later. What if you don't have it later? All right. But if you can pay now, or if you have to pay later, I'd rather pay a little bit later than a lot later. Right? It's all in the position you're at. Claremont, I know oh my God, I'm getting ready for him. I'm getting ready. I know. Oh my goodness. I see what's about to happen, right? He's going to say, how about pay never? So it was interesting, that article, because sometimes folks think I can get away with this. I can do this. It's not about necessarily getting away. It's just really strategizing over time what you're going to do, the tools that you're going to use, so that, yes, we want to pay less taxes later on in life. Okay. But to do that, you really have to plan well before that. Okay, well before that, and strategize with those tools that you're using so that really when you get there, you should be in a position where you essentially will pay less. And it's also when you're using RRSPs or when they flip into a RIF, you don't really get taxed on that until you've exceeded the minimum mandatory requirement. Okay, because the government says when you flip that RRSP into a RIF, you're now officially drawing down. And you have to draw down. You have no choice. They're forcing you to take your money. You can imagine that? You have to take your money, okay? But if you go over the minimum that they set, because they set a percentage, then that's where you'll be taxed. But if you could stay within that minimum and utilize funds outside of that, like the tax-free savings account, you're not really paying taxes, right? See, there's ways around things. You just got to work with somebody to know how to make that happen. So that's my little take today when it comes on to withholding taxes, understanding that, it's out there. You're going to have to pay these taxes. It's just figuring out which way you want to go about, what am I saying? Taking the funds out. All right. And when you want to get taxed. Nobody wants to get taxed, but if you're going to have to get taxed, when do you want to get taxed? keep that in mind. And also keep in mind, if you have income still at the same time coming in while you're drawing down money from your RSPs, you could essentially be putting yourself into a higher tax bracket too. Okay, so you got to think about all those things.
Yes.
Be very mindful. And remember, RRSP is registered retirement savings plan. It means it's for retirement. Okay, that's what it is. It's not registered renovation plan. Okay, or registered resort savings plan. It's retirement. Okay, but yes, I know at times people do have to get in there for emergencies or whatnot. I understand it's there. Hey, the fact if you have one and you can still turn to use it, that's still a good thing because you were disciplined enough to put away money. Okay, so the whole thing is it's there for you. All right, just try to keep it for your retirement if you can. So that was a lot of talking. But that is it for me when it comes on to talking about taxes. I mean, we could talk about taxes all day or maybe not because, Claremont doesn't want to hear about taxes. We know that. So we are going to leave it at that. I hope that little tidbit helped, just a little tidbit, but plug in, look at different articles and whatnot. You can learn a lot from that. You can. Okay, take that information away. And then again, work with the financial professional that can give you that guidance and assist you because it's so important. All right, work with the person that has that area, that has the certifications in that area and the experience, and they can help you get to where you need to be. So have yourself a wonderful, I'm going to say a little bit of a wet Wednesday, but it's okay. Again, wash away the negative, wash away the taxes, okay? And have yourself a wonderful rest of the week. And until next time, God bless you all. Okay, Claremont, we're ready.
Well, I know that we have a limited amount of time, so I'm going to keep it in 1 minute. First of all, check this out. Tell me how right this is. They're on strike. You can't get certain things done properly. You can't get your passports. You're probably not even get your tax return the same time. But if you're late, they still want to charge you penalty. And they're on strike.
Yeah, I know.
You see where the robbery comes in? Right there. Now, as for the taxes, and if I want to travel somewhere, I'm going to call Uncle Justin. Do what he did. Get somebody else to pay for his stuff and then say, it's the family. We've been doing this for years, right? So Uncle Justin, I need to travel so I don't have to pay any tax. Because if they can get away with it, there has to be a way that we can get away with it too. And this is why when it comes to taxes, especially in this system here right now, and with all I think we're one of the highest tax countries, if I'm not mistaken. Right? That being taxed to just about every single thing. And I call them tyrants, man. Because how much more money can you get? How much more money can you get? And you just add another tax thing into the same stuff here again. Come on, seriously, right? I'm gonna call Uncle Justin. Uncle Justin, I need you to get me your family to send me away somewhere so they pay for it, and I want the highest resort. I want a $9,000 a night thing that he was having. Is it $9,000 a night?
You know what?
Oh boy!
You leave that man and his privileges. It'll get to him one day.
Oh yeah, sure will, sure will. Don't want to be in his shoes.
You don't want those privileges, my brother.
No,
you truly
but
don't.
Taxes. I still
right
see.
This moment when she said the T word, you want those privileges.
Correct.
By tomorrow, you'll level out and realize you don't really want it.
No. From the minute you say taxes, yes, I want the privileges. Because here's why. Why do I have to pay that much taxes when they don't? How is that? How is that?
Privilege?
No. How is that right? That you get all these tax breaks. We're the ones who are working hard to keep the country going, but you're jacking us up with more and more taxes while you get tax break because you're government. Seriously?
Didn't I just?
I will always argue that
our
point.
Rates raised today.
Yeah, so I heard. Listen, Faiti, we gotta go. Wanda, thank you so much for sharing. Of course, I appreciate.
I was just bringing him down off that ledge because we gotta let somebody out there that's
seriously
thinking about surrendering to Christ while he is being agitated by the government and the taxes. We have to have that moment.
I'm not agitated.
To have somebody surrender their lives to Christ. So we can pick that up next week because we don't have time.
I want to say bye to Wanda. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank
sharing,
you.
Oh, I was gonna get there.
Yeah, but you know what though, it's still wrong.
Wanda, I'm gonna have to really what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna have to check you out and check out what you're delivering to us.
Listen, I'm a child of
I'm
God.
gonna have to preview your content.
Yeah. I'm a child of God, and yet at the same time, I live in a real world that people are trying to steal from me.
I know you do.
And Jesus himself had to beat the thieves out of the synagogue. On that note, folks, thank you so much for watching us right here on the and Streaming Praise Radio YouTube channel. We're going to switch over to the radio. So Faith T. King, close us.